everyone. Welcome along to the panel, our Euro 2024 coverage here at Gambling.com. I'm Alan McInally, your host for all our coverage throughout the tournament here on the panel as the action rolls on in Germany. And today we turn our attention to Les Bleus. I know someone that will be kind of happy. France kicked off their campaign with a 1-0 win over Austria in Group D. Wasn't the most convincing win, but that will not matter to my guest today. As you can see on the screen already, he's got a CV that I am just so jealous of. Euro, World Cup, Cup final, blah, 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 blah. Welcome. Bonjour, Emmanuel Petit.
Bonjour. How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you, buddy? All right, you must be pretty happy with it. Well, the opening game, you know how important it is to win the opening game.
Yeah, the most important of this game is the 3 points, Yeah, it's always special, the first game when you enter into a big competition like this. So that was very important to win for the confidence. But we all seen, what happened, it was a sweat and blood in that game, a fierce battle. Yeah,
exactly. Well, listen, we wouldn't be here without our sponsors, so we better give them a mention, Emmanuel. On the panel on Gambling.com is brought to you by Winsane.com and Bitovo.com, our odds and betting partners for the Euros. And all the details you need to get involved with them throughout the tournament are on screen. Check them out for our latest match odds, specials, and more as we go through the Euros this summer on the panel on Gambling.com. Right, let's get right into this. You've kind of touched on it there. Were you a little disappointed it was only 1-0? Were you expecting a bigger win? Maybe.
We didn't have a lot of occasion, to score. Especially, we had, this occasion with Kylian Mbappe in the second half, when he was facing the goalkeeper and he missed the target. But to be honest with you, we didn't have a lot of occasion to score. So we started very well that game for the first 15 minutes. I think we showed composure and we put pressure on the opponents and we tried to score as soon as possible. But they defended very well. And yeah, as I said before, it was a fierce battle on the pitch. I think a lot of times, the opponent was crossing the line and the referee, was quite, it was a little bit difficult for him to control the game, yeah.
Did he get the starting 11 right? Is there anything you would have changed in the starting 11? And I'm only going to say that because this is a double-barrel question for me. I was really disappointed with Ousmane Dembele and Emmanuel Petit because I just didn't think he contributed anything to the team at all.
You're right, technically. But that was the case with Paris Saint-Germain during the season as well. It was the case as well when he was playing for Barcelona. This guy can be marvelous, sometimes. But most of the times, technically, he should do much better than that. He has to improve on the highest level. But to answer your question, I was seeing Marcus Thuram on the left side. He's playing as a striker. With Lautaro Martinez in Inter de Milan, and we don't get it. And especially when he makes some substitutions in the game. He put Colomwani on the right wing. He's a striker as well. So you have Barcola, he can play on the left side, especially when he substitute Kylian Mbappe. We were thinking this is probably the opportunity for Barcola, to show his quality on the left wing, and he didn't do that. So we've been, it's common, with Didier Deschamps. It's been, he did it already in the last competition. Sometimes he puts players not on the best position on the pitch. So yeah, at the end they won the game. So what can you say about that? So we are frustrated because we all know that here in France we can do much better than that in terms of playing. With the quality of the player, I think we should expect something different, but. Again, Deschamps is right because he won the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, it also showed you that N'Golo Kante is still hugely important to that French team this for the Euros.
That's the pity for the players on the bench, especially guys from Mbappe, because they just won the Champions League. Chouameni and Camavinga, for example, they should have done much better than that because for the last 2 years, N'Golo left the national team and he's playing in Saudi Arabia. So. that show for me how important is N'Golo Kante with Didier Deschamps, but we all love him, here in France. So we have been very happy with his performance. That was very difficult the first half. I was at the game, in the stadium, and I could see. I saw so many times, N'Golo Kante and Rabiot talking, about the position on the pitch, how they can play together, because Rabiot as well was missing games for the last 4 weeks. So it was very difficult the first 45 minutes, but the second half I think it was marvelous, especially when he came back, the last defender, and he stopped, the guy. So no, he deserved. I don't know if he deserves to be named the best player of the pitch in that game, because I think Maignan, the goalkeeper, was magnificent. I think Conde as well on the right back, and then Hernandez on the left back as well was very good as well. So, but we are very happy with the performance so far from N'Golo.
Yeah, you and I spoke about Koundé, and I wondered whether he was better at fullback or centre back, but he was really good. Listen, I need to mention Kylian Mbappe for a few reasons, obviously.
Yeah.
And before even the game, he came out with he was talking about politics. And I don't know whether where your political bias is, but does he need to be speaking about politics when you're going into a Euros? It's a tough one to answer, but I'm thinking you stay away from that.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, because that was the case as well back in days. Now, with our generation, we used to fight against, the extreme here in France. We've been attacked, by the Le Pen family, here in France so many times. So the national team, especially when they come into a big competition like this, and the coincidence, you have the election here in France as well. So in the same time, so there is a collision. And the national team has been always hostage of the environment, the politics environment here in France. So he said what he said. I can understand what he was saying, but until a limit, because I think we should keep a reserve sometimes, about politics. We are citizens first before being a player, but we have all responsibility about that. But we have to be very careful about that. I think you can give your own opinion, but you cannot say to people what they have to vote,
Yeah, exactly. Right, back to the football. Tell me about Antoine Griezmann, because I'm thinking he's a possibility for player of the tournament, but I thought he was a little quiet. And I don't know whether that was because Austria actually played the way they played, Emmanuel. I didn't think he imposed himself the way he does sometimes with France.
Who? Saliba, you mean?
No. I'll get to Saliba. Yeah, no, I meant Antoine Griezmann. I'm thinking he's a candidate for player of the tournament.
To be honest, that's normal, because, as I said, Rabiot was missing for the last 4 or 5 weeks games, so he was missing competitions, and N'Golo Kante came back after 2 years into this team again, and the rhythm in Saudi Arabia is not the same. So on top of it is the first game of the group, so it's always special, to come into a big competition like this. So you need to find automatism very, very quickly, very fast on the pitch, and it took, for me, 45 minutes to set up everything. But for Griezmann, I think he was probably a victim of that, So they were missing, the links in midfield. As I said, I was at the game, and I can't remember how many times Rabiot and N'Golo Kante and Griezmann talked, on the pitch, for the position, how we press and everything. And because up front, Thuram is not playing on the right position, because this is something totally different for him. You cannot expect, things to be very good straight, So it takes time for that. So, but Griezmann, I don't know. Me, I prefer him to play right behind the striker.
Yeah,
the link between the midfield and the strikers. But he was playing everywhere. I could see him on the right, on the left, deep, as an OD midfielder, trying to build the game from behind. So he was everywhere, but sometimes he was lost on the pitch.
Yeah. I mean, you just mentioned William Saliba there. I thought he did really well, Emmanuel, and I know that Didier Deschamps has been a little critical at times of him, but he must have been really happy with his performance. I'm presuming you were as well. And as an ex-Arsenal man, I thought he did really well.
Yes, don't forget that with Upamecano, they play only what?
Yeah.
70 minutes together.
Yeah.
It's a big gamble, from the Deschamps, to put them, straight away, because the spine of the team is very important, especially when you start, in a big competition like this. The confidence, automatism is very important, especially when you play central defenders. But he was a little bit sometimes nervous, with the ball. Lost some balls sometimes, but step by steps, he was playing with confidence. So yes, I think that was a very important game for him, and I think he will be on the pitch against Holland. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think if Holland have watched your game against Austria? If you and I are the manager and assistant manager of Holland, we're looking at the French team. Tell me where you think the weakest area in the French team is. What would you make a change there, having watched that against Austria? What's the weakest part of the French team?
I think we are vulnerable on the set pieces and corner things like when you play on the flank, because Condé is not a natural right back. He played very well, the first game, but he's in trouble many times as well in this position with the national team. So I think Holland have quality on the wings. They are fast, technical as well. And if they can combine, perfectly in the midfield, it depends. For me, the key will be in midfield. If we won the battle in midfield, that will be very important for that game. So there is so many keys, on that game. But for me, the midfield would be very important, because most of the time I've seen Holland playing so many times, and if you control them in midfield, you have a big chance to win the game.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, does Mbappe play? I broke my nose. I broke my nose 3 or 4 times, Emmanuel.
Yeah,
and I can remember. Oh yeah, well yeah, yeah, exactly. That is proper broken. That thing right there. But I mean, I'm thinking to myself now: does he have to play him? Does Mbappe have to play against Netherlands, or do you keep him for the Poland game? Or I don't know. What do you think? Listen, if I was Mbappe, I would want to play. I don't know. What do you think?
Of course, I'm pretty sure he wants to play, but. There is 3 games. We all know that finishing second, that would be good as well to go through the group stage. But I think he will sit on the bench, and we will see what's going on during that game. Maybe Deschamps will try to playing. It depends on the scenario of the game. But for me, it's too soon. It's too early. He has a broken nose. I know that. Many players have been playing with broken nose in the past, but why do you take a risk like this if you have the chance to qualify as well for the last game of the group? So we will see what's going on into that game, and that will be the decision from Deschamps.
How do we say broken nose in French?
Nez cassé.
Nez cassé. Nez cassé. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A lot of times. Right, listen. Holland had a really good result. The team you play against Poland. Did they look contenders? Are they, top 5, top 6 in the betting? I thought they looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And an important win, obviously, because they play France next.
Yeah, but we've been playing them, recently, and we trashed them, We had series recently against them, so we know very well that team. We know their qualities. We know how we can hurt them. But the fact that Mbappe, I think, will be on the bench, that will be an opportunity for other players to show their qualities, And the question here, since what happened with Mbappe, the question is the national team able to win without Kylian Mbappe? My answer is very simple. It's yes. My answer is yes. We have to learn to play without him. It's the group stage. We're not talking about quarter, semi-final, or final. This is something completely different. It's just a group stage game. it's important against Holland, but I think we have enough qualities, to play without Kylian Mbappe. Yeah.
So does he play Giroud or does he play Thuram? Does
Be
he
careful with
play?
Giroud because at the end of the game he was stretching, his groin because he
Oh,
was
right.
suffering, about the groin. So I don't know if he's going to play. But this is an opportunity for Barcola on the left wing. This is an opportunity as well for Coman. I think Coman, I think Didier Deschamps should give the chance to Coman to play instead of Dembele on the right flank, And maybe we could see Marcus Thuram playing on his real position as a striker up front, and straight behind Griezmann. So that could be for me the attack for that day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, thanks, Emmanuel. I just will say that actually for the betting, Netherlands are 2-1, 11-10, France, and 95 the draw. I think 95 the draw might be a good bet. From what you've seen so far, player of the tournament, I've got Bellingham at 72. He was very good, wasn't he? The young boy for England, very, very good.
Yeah, I think they played very well the first half. They lost composure and confidence in the second half. I think physically, I was very worrying to watch what was happening on the pitch because, of course, the opponents, they play much better in the second half. But for me, that this is not an explanation about how England played. They lost so many easy balls. They lost composure. They didn't build the game from behind, and they disappear physically. They were not in the battle anymore. Mentally, they were suffering so much. So for me, I don't know right now what is the real level of England. Is it the first half or the second half? I have no idea right now. So I need to see the second game from them.
Yeah, exactly. Young players, just because some of the young players have been brilliant. That's why I've mentioned them. 72 Bellingham, Musiala 61, who was fantastic. Florian Wirtz 61. Lamine Yamal, the Spanish boy, he was terrific. And of course, we need to mention on their Guler, the boy from Real Madrid.
Turkey. I told you, be careful about Turkey.
You said that's exactly what Petit said. Be careful about Turkey, and they were fantastic against Georgia, weren't they?
Did you see the atmosphere in the stadium yesterday? It's
unbelievable.
Like at home. It's like playing at home. So it's a 12-man, during the tournament for them. But it was a great game to watch yesterday. It was very passionate. It was like a boxing, fight. And they have quality, Turkey. But Georgia, I think they responded very well. And they were unlucky, but at the end, I think Turkey deserved to win that game.
Just quickly, then the other game in that tournament, I presume you watched the Portugal game against the Czech Republic. I'm going to say that probably Portugal won the game, 93rd minute. I think they probably got a little lucky as well. But were you that impressed with them? I mean, yes. I'm going to just so England are still favourites at 72. You guys are 4-1. Holland 16s. Germany 11-2. Portugal still 6-1, Spain 7-1. I was more impressed with Spain than I was with Portugal.
Yes, you're right. But I think Portugal yesterday, I think they played very well. I think they should have won and killed the game very easily. But you have to give credit as well to the opponent because they show great character. They play as a unit. They fought for every single ball. And when they had the chance, to hurt Portugal, they did it. So it was not an easy game for them, but I think it will be very difficult to play against them. But to speak about Portugal, honestly, they should have scored at least 4 goals in that game. They have so many opportunities, and they have so many talented players. You can control the game, put the rhythm into that game, and technically as well. It was a beauty sometimes to watch how they build from behind, and but sometimes they're losing concentration, and all of a sudden, on one occasion, they can concede a goal. So they need to fix that problem because, as I said about England at the beginning of the tournament, when the occasion comes, you have to score, you have to take it. And yesterday, it was frustrating for Portugal because we had that, especially after conceding the first goal, you had the feeling that they were losing concentration, they were losing their mind, and the frustration was on the pitch. But I think mentally they show character, and for me, it's totally normal that they won that game.
Yeah, exactly. Well, remember here on Gambling.com, We have told you about top goal scorer, further to my young tournament. I'm going to talk about the top goal scorer because you're saying he might be on the bench. Mbappe's still favourite at 92. Kane 11-2. Lukaku, Ronaldo, Bellingham, Havertz. You can get them at 12s and 14s thanks to Winsane.com and Betovo.com. Will Mbappe still be top goal scorer, do you think, even though he doesn't play against Holland? Still got plenty of opportunities.
It doesn't matter because Mbappe, he can score two goals easily every single game. So I'm not worried about that. He will score goals. Don't forget that Mbappe, the last European competition, has scored 0 goals. So it's a big target. It's a big pressure on him.
Brilliant. Emmanuel, thank you so much for today, buddy. Bon chance against Holland.
Yes, and good luck for Scotland as well.
Thank you, my boy. It's a big game against Switzerland tonight. It's a big game. Okay, guys, listen, stay tuned to Gambling.com and the panel all summer. It'll be me, Alan McInally, Emmanuel Petit, Robert Huth. We've got Carlton Cole. We've got Emil Heskey. We've got everybody, all the top names here on the panel on Gambling.com. And thanks, of course, to our betting partners, Betovo.com and Winsane.com for supporting us with all the odds as we go. Do check them out. Details are on the screen and on the show notes wherever you're watching. I will speak to you very soon, my boy.
Take care.
Fingers crossed for Scotland and France. I hope Mbappe's Nikaze is okay. Bye.